Verse 1. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem. Explanation. Jesus was born in Bethlehem, as foretold by prophecy. The Magi, wise men or astrologers, from the east, likely Persia or Babylon, traveled to Jerusalem following a star they believed signified the birth of the King of the Jews. Verse 2. And asked, Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him. Explanation. The Magi sought to honor and worship this new king, recognizing the celestial sign as a confirmation of his royal birth. Verse 3. When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. Asterisk. Explanation. King Herod, known for his paranoia and cruelty, was troubled by the news of a new king. Herod saw Jesus as a threat to his throne, and the people of Jerusalem, who lived under his oppressive rule, were also fearful of potential political unrest. Verse 4-6. When he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. In Bethlehem in Judea, they replied, for this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. Asterisk. Explanation. Herod consulted the Jewish religious leaders, and they confirmed the prophecy from Micah 5:2, predicting the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. Herod's desire to know this led him to seek out the location for his own selfish purposes. Verse 7-8. Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him. Asterisk. Explanation. Herod secretly inquired when the star appeared, trying to calculate Jesus' age to ensure his murderous plan would succeed. He feigned interest in worshiping Jesus, but his true intention was to eliminate the child. Verse 9-10. After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. Explanation. The Magi followed the star to Bethlehem. It led them directly to the house where Jesus was, and they were filled with great joy, recognizing the significance of what they had found. Verse 11. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense and myrrh. Asterisk. Explanation. The Magi worshipped Jesus, offering expensive gifts symbolic of his kingship: gold, divinity, frankincense, and sacrificial death, myrrh. These gifts were fitting for the Messiah, who was both king and savior. Verse 12. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route. Explanation. God intervened through a dream, warning the Magi not to return to Herod. They obeyed and took a different route home, protecting Jesus from Herod's plan. Now I'm going to tell you guys verse 13-15 from Matthew 2, and these verses is about the escape to Egypt. But before moving forward, do subscribe to my channel. Verse 13. When they had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. Get up, he said, take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him. Explanation. God warned Joseph through a dream to take Mary and Jesus and flee to Egypt to avoid Herod's deadly plot. This divine intervention protected Jesus from being killed. Verse 14-15. So he got up, took the child and his mother during the night and left for Egypt, where he stayed until the death of Herod. And so was fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, Out of Egypt I called my son. Asterisk. Explanation. Joseph obeyed immediately, leaving in the night to protect Jesus. This action fulfilled the prophecy from Hosea 11:1, which spoke of God's calling of Israel out of Egypt but also applied to Jesus as the true son. Verse 16. When Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious, and he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity who were 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi. Explanation. Herod, enraged by the Magi's deception, ordered the massacre of all male children under 2 years old in Bethlehem, trying to ensure Jesus' death. His cruelty was an attempt to eliminate the perceived threat to his reign. Verse 17-18. Then what was said through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping in great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted, because they are no more. Explanation: the tragedy fulfilled the prophecy, which referred to the mourning of the Israelites during the Babylonian exile. The massacre of innocent children echoed this sorrow, as Rachel symbolized the mothers of Israel. Verse 19-20. After Herod died, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother and go to the land of Israel, for those who were trying to take the child's life are dead." Explanation: after Herod's death, God instructed Joseph to return to Israel, as the danger to Jesus had passed. Verse 21. So he got up, took the child and his mother and went to the land of Israel. Explanation: Joseph obeyed God's command and returned with his family to Israel. Verse 22. But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning in Judea in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. Having been warned in a dream, he withdrew to the district of Galilee. Explanation: upon hearing that Herod's son, Archelaus, ruled in Judea, Joseph was afraid of further danger. God warned him again in a dream, so he chose to settle in Galilee, away from the political turmoil in Judea. Verse 23. And he went and lived in a town called Nazareth. So was fulfilled what was said through the prophets, "He will be called a Nazarene." Explanation: Jesus grew up in Nazareth, fulfilling the prophecy that he would be called a Nazarene. Though no specific Old Testament verse directly states this, it reflects the general theme of Jesus' humble origins and the rejection he would face. Overall explanation: Matthew 2 highlights the fulfillment of multiple Old Testament prophecies regarding the Messiah's birth, his flight to Egypt, and his return to Nazareth. It also demonstrates God's protection of Jesus from King Herod's evil schemes. The visit of the Magi, Herod's massacre of the innocent children, and the family's escape all reveal God's sovereignty in guiding and protecting his son, fulfilling prophecies, and working through dreams to ensure his divine plan unfolded perfectly. How we can use these verses in our daily life. In our daily decisions, big or small, we can pray for God's guidance, trust in his direction, and have faith that he will lead us to where we need to go, just as he did for the Magi. When we feel prompted to make a decision or change course, whether it's in our work, relationships, or personal goals, trusting God's timing can bring peace and safety, even when the path ahead isn't clear. In our own lives, we may face challenges where we encounter injustice, conflict, or difficult people. Like Joseph, we can trust that God is with us, protecting us, and giving us the courage to stand firm against evil or harmful situations, seeking his wisdom to navigate through. In our personal lives, we may face moments where God's plan doesn't seem to make sense. It could be a career change, moving to a new place, or making a tough decision that feels uncertain. By trusting God's guidance and obeying his direction, we can rest assured that he has a purpose, even if we can't see the full picture at the time. When we face trials, financial struggles, health issues, or personal hardships, we can take comfort in knowing that God is watching over us, guiding us, and providing the protection or resources we need, just as he did for the Holy Family. We are reminded that success and fulfillment don't always come from wealth, fame, or status. True greatness is found in humility, serving others, and living out our faith with sincerity, regardless of our external circumstances. We can apply these verses in our own lives by making worship a regular part of our daily routine, offering God our time, talents, and resources as a way of honoring him. True worship is an expression of gratitude and devotion, not just a ritual but an active, life-encompassing response to God's love and greatness.